So welcome to October, Conscious Creators. Welcome. So I wanted to, first of all, just say I hope that you all are rising and shining in power and truth and authenticity and love and joy and hope and fierceness and all of the beautiful things that make you whole, all of the beautiful things that make your soul smile. So, life path number 7. If you are a life path number 7, what I mean by that is if the date, the day, and the year of your birth, of the time that you were born, the day that you were born, add up, and once you reduce it to a single digit, if it adds up to a number 7, in numerology, you would be what is called a life path number 7. The reason that's important because these things act as a soul blueprint to help guide you along your journey, to remind you of who you are so that you can return to your center, to your core of who you truly are. And something has really been on my spirit. I've actually been needing to make this video for a while now, but we're here now. So, okay. I hope y'all understand, shout out to all of the conscious creators, all of those who are walking their soul's journey on purpose and purpose. But particularly the reason I want to highlight life path number 7 is something that has come to my awareness is the potency of your power and why you may have felt in particular throughout your life's journey that maybe you felt like you were going crazy, that you were constantly in spiritual warfare regarding your mind. That is because life path number 7 represents the crown chakra, right? The crown chakra is the color, it resonates with the color purple, right? And so the color purple, as you know, is the joining together of the red and the blue. Red and blue makes purple, and that is your crown, so that you wear your crown, right? Now, one of the other things too is the number 7 is the number of divinity. It's a number of balance, pH balance in particular, right? It's the number of completion in terms of like the days of the week. You know what I'm saying? And so because you hold a God level frequency, there has been so much along your path intentionally to knock your crown off, whether that be on any level. One of the things that I've realized, more than likely, it is at the root level, which is the root chakra. It's that primal force. It's that get up and go. It's the survival. It's that survival instinct that we naturally have. It's very primal and animalistic. Now, it is necessary, but it's not where we are to remain because it's animalistic, right? And so it is that survival instinct. And so that is what you kick in when you need that adrenaline in order to be in a position of fight or flight, right? So you may have experienced instability on the root chakra level. So you may have gone through life with back issues, and I'm speaking from experience here, y'all, which is why but again, the more these things kind of unravel and awaken within me, I'm able to share more of this information with you all. So, you may have felt it at the core level. And I'm doing a whole thing on this, and like I'm literally writing a book about all of this stuff, y'all. And so make sure y'all go to my website, www.thetishahillman.com, and pre-order your copy, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you why in just a minute. But instability. So one of the primary methods that may have been used against you in this like physical and spiritual warfare sort of thing, it's all spiritual. This spiritual warfare sort of thing is to keep you at this place where you feel like where you're never able to build your kingdom, right? So if your root is always unstable, right? The root is where you actually build from. And so if the root is unstable and you are constantly in a position where you're feeling insecure, and I don't mean internal security when I say this in this context, but generally, yes, internally secure. But for this purpose, when you are dealing with a situation where you are constantly feeling like you're never able to build, where you're collecting and you're gaining all this wisdom and knowledge, and you're doing all of the things, but it never actually amounts to anything, because there's always something that puts you back in that low vibration or lower frequency, that lower place of starting over again. Right? Always puts you back at that place where your foundation, your building has crumbled once again. Now you're back at the foundation, right? So now you got to rebuild again and again and again. And you've seen this pattern happen again and again and again, where every time you build, what you build crumbles, right? This is the time where you take those motherfucking crumbles and you build something glorious. You build something sustainable. Because now you are building with wisdom, Ashe, and you're building with your crown and the root and all of the energy, all of your planets in alignment at this point. You understand? Allow yourself, if you are at that place, you take those bricks, you take what you have. Because if you are breathing, you still have something, because actually, as a matter of fact, you have everything, because you have wisdom, knowledge, love, foundation, and the breath of life flowing through you. So with those things, there is nothing that you can't accomplish, Ashe. So you take that and you build. Okay. The other thing is, watch your Virgo, your digestion, your digestive center, and all of the it's just all of it is important for you, quite frankly. All of it is important because understand this, because you are so powerful. You are literally a mastermind. Do you understand? You are literally a mastermind once you've learned how to master your mind. Once you have learned how to balance the both hemispheres of your brain, right? Because that's what we're talking about. And the energies within you, the masculine and the feminine, right? The dark and the light, the up and the down, everything. Right? When you are able to bring those things into your God frequency and into balance, you are fucking unstoppable. But along the way, it was necessary to put obstacles in your course, right? In order for you to learn how to step back into your power. And so you allow nothing to take off your crown again. You remain in your state of balance, in your internal core, in your balance. Because what happens, particularly for life path number 7s, because you are a mastermind, because what that means is that not only have you, when you master your mind, because it's mental, right? It's mental. It's all mental. And so you need to become mentally patient, not a mental patient, but mentally patient, and being able to see with absolute clarity. So what that means is recognizing and bringing into your core, breathing up and breathing in, and having full body breathing experiences or experiences. Hey, Oreo. So having those full body breathing moments where you're truly able to bring all of your energy into its core frequency of harmony and balance, right? So that way you are able to tell what is your energy, an energy that has come into your field that you can repel, right? And I'll make some videos about that too. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start offering like workshops and things like that where we can, talk about these things together more privately. Because there's, if y'all have been doing this work, that there's some deep level work that you have to do when you decide that you're going to walk your spiritual path and truly decide that you're going to walk in your God frequency or your goddess frequency, your divine frequency, right? So you want to make sure that you are remaining in balance so that you're not pulled back and forth by the winds and the waves and all of the things and the narratives of others and the things that exist outside of you that are vying for your attention. Because your attention, your energy is currency. Your attention, your energy is it is the energy, it is the money, it is the power source for these things, right? Without your attention, right? These things will have to collapse because they don't have energy to support them, right? It's like having a plant or a tree. Even the most resilient, right? And y'all who know me, I garden and do all this kind of stuff. And this is bringing me to my other thing that I was telling y'all about. All of these things, right? And so what I can tell you is this. There are some plants, y'all have heard me talk about a plant called sow thistle that I use to make my cut the bullshit cuticle oil. That's available at consciouscreations.live. Now, the reason sow thistle is in this is because it is a resilient weed, right? So literally, sow thistle will grow when you don't want it to grow. It's one of those weeds. And I love to work with those weeds, by the way. Those weeds that people usually consider what they call noxious or invasive, right? And hard to control. The reason being is because most of the time, these weeds don't need you to give a fuck. They don't need you to water them. They don't need you to talk to them. They don't need you to care. They are going to be what they are, right? They like sow thistle literally grows through the rocks. You see what I'm saying? Like it doesn't care. It's going to grow. It's going to do what it's going to do. You understand what I'm saying? This is why I use it in my cut the bullshit oil, right? Because it is a powerful, powerful representation of that divine goddess energy, right? That earth mother energy, that no matter what you do, I am going to grow. You can put your pesticides, your sprays, all of the things that you want, but I assure you on all that I love, I will continue to grow and to thrive, right? And so it is so important for you as a life path number 7 to know who you are and to walk in your divinity. Because one of the things that can happen is because you are such a powerful force and a powerful creator, when you are pulled outside of your path, right, you end up creating worlds for other people because you are a master manifester. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that other life path numbers and other beings don't possess this energy. But what I am telling you is that is your fucking superpower. That is your superpower. And so you in particular need to make sure that you are doing the necessary things in order to govern your mental. Okay? Now, one of the things that I've made recently, let me actually, is it in here? Let me see if I put it in here. I may have put, Oreo, you see me talking to the people. So this is something that I put together. And then I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm actually just going to add them to my packages when I ship them out. So the other thing all right, so let me say this, y'all, because y'all know that I have several different businesses, several different things that I do, but all of them are in alignment with who I am. They're just different aspects of the same energy, right? And so this is first and foremost, it's called govern your mental, right? Because you, in fact, hold the key, right? And when you see with wisdom and clarity, you see with wisdom and clarity. Ashe. And so inside this, right now, and this may change up depending on, whatever is happening. Inside this right now are pine needles and rosemary. The reason pine needles and rosemary is in this, and it's in my bag, the reason being is because pine helps to purify and cleanse and clarify your pineal gland that sits in between your two eyes, right? To see internally and to see into the spirit if you are so tapped in, right? But sometimes what happens, like I said, because of these things, the environmental factors, all of these things, all of the things, right? The vision can become unclear. Okay. A lot of times it's due to what's happening within our emotional waters, because think about it like, think about it like muddy water, like literally, like you are very clear and you know who you are. You're able to walk in the confidence, walk in the courage of conviction, speak truth to power, all of the things that make you you. But sometimes when we encounter things that disrupt our emotional body, because the emotion is water energy, it can start to muddy the waters, which means that the natural flow isn't flowing the way that it should, meaning that we're not able to purify and cleanse the way that we need to. And so our internal waters become muddied. And so what you are projecting externally is not clear, because again, it's all internal that is manifested externally, because it's all you. You see what I'm saying? And so this is why being in alignment, in tune with your inner core, your inner strength, your inner wisdom, right? The inner divine within you will help you to see clearly. So the pine needles actually help to open and clear the pineal gland. And then the rosemary helps to open also the mental space, but also the crown, because it deals with the balancing of these chemicals in your mind. Because one thing about rosemary is that it helps to clear these energies of I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, right? The best way to convey this to you all. But you know how like sometimes you feel mentally scattered, right? That is honestly where there are all of these energies that are either within you or external to you, attempting to gain entry into your government. You see what I'm saying? Into your universe. And so what is happening is that these energies are in conflict. And so it creates so that conflict, you start to feel that in your mind. And it's because these energies are warring for your attention, your currency, which is your energy, and your creative life force, right? Because what you feed is going to grow, unless it's South Thistle, because then it don't give a fuck. But generally speaking, what you give your energy to, it's feeding that. You see what I'm saying? So these things come into your field because they want you to take your eyes and your eye off of what it is that you're doing in order to give attention to it, give your currency to it, and to feed it. Starve the fuck out of it, right? Get you some rosemary, get you some mint, get yourself a mojo bag, a ho-ho bag, whatever you want to call it. Get it, keep it on your person so that you can make sure that you are protecting your mental space, so that you know that you are able, when you use your affirmations and you say things like, I speak and create my reality, I see with wisdom and clarity, you can say that with absolute certainty because you know who you are. because it's clear, right? It's crystal clear. You understand? Now, what this brings me to is the book that I'm writing. And I'm very excited about this book because, I mean, let me say it this way. Quite frankly, the book has already been written. It was written, it's been written. It's just a matter of getting it to you all in its completed form. Okay. And so I have a team that is working with me on the development of this book. And I would love for you all to support me in pre-ordering this book. The reason being is because 5 years ago, in 2019, I started a company called Conscious Creations. And I started Conscious Creations because the ancestors came to me and told me at that time, now this is before, COVID, right? Told me that I needed to start growing my own food. And so I did that. And so how this all came to be is because if you follow me for any amount of time, you've heard me tell my story. So for years, I dealt with like chronic pain and anxiety and depression, like all of these sorts of things that I dealt with for many, many years. But the thing that I always knew in my soul is that the medication was, for me, it was not the path. It wasn't the path, and it wasn't the answer. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it wasn't a cure. It wasn't a cure. And so I knew that couldn't be the answer. It couldn't be the solution. Do you see what I'm saying? So I went on this journey in order to uncover and unlock the keys to what that solution looked like for me. And so it started with gardening, and it expanded from there to where I started creating my own products, because I knew that, hey, I'm putting these things on my skin. I'm aware that my skin is the largest organ of my body, right? I'm aware of, all of these things, which is why I was telling you all about the rosemary. Because we're not even mindful or aware sometimes that, like, think about your shampoo. When you are washing your scalp, you are literally brainwashing yourself, right? So if you are putting chemicals that are toxic to your body on your brain, on your crown, right? On your crown, we just talked about, on your crown, is being absorbed into your bloodstream and into your brain. You have to know that does something, right? That does something, because there are certain things that actually penetrate the blood-brain barrier. Do you see what I'm saying? So you want to be mindful of all of these things. And so I've had this level of awareness. And so I learned to create my products from that level of awareness. So you can feel free to go to my website. You can pick up different herbs, tools, tinctures, body butters, all of the things. Now, here's the thing I must tell y'all, and this brings me to my book. So I'm in the process of expanding. Okay. And so in order to do that, I am actually, packing up everything and relocating and expanding so that I can have land, y'all. Land. Because where I have right now, like I have my little garden and stuff like that, but I am planting more fruit trees, because y'all know I have my lovely fig tree that I love so much that, it's still some figs available, not a lot, because we're coming to the end of the season. But they're freshly dehydrated figs and fig leaves, which are great for hormones, and the reproductive organs, both masculine and feminine. Okay. So I want to be able to do more of that. That's what I'm working toward. Being able to plant more trees, to be able to have the land in order to be able to grow all of these herbs and things like that, so that I don't have to outsource as many things as I do, because I just, you know what I mean? Because everything doesn't grow everywhere, and y'all know this, right? And if you don't, you know, right? So I want to be able to expand what I'm able to grow on my own land. And so in order to do that, y'all, my plan is to never, ever in life take out another loan, ever. And that's part of what my book is about the truth about debt. Because, and I know I'm just giving y'all a lot. This is supposed to be just like a little update on life path number 7. But in the book, chapter 6, is it chapter 6 or chapter 8? Either way, one of the chapters in the book is about the truth about debt, right? And what are called deeds of trust, right? And so normally we look at deeds of trust when it comes to real estate. But what if I tell you, because I've already told you, that the real estate is mental? And so these deeds of trust, although they, in the physical reality, they have become to be synonymous with real estate transactions in terms of buying and securing land and property, your mind is the most valuable real estate, right? And so when you interact with these deeds of trust, they're literally, think about them as literal deeds of trust. And so for me, writing this book, having these conversations, giving you all of this information, walking this path, all of these things for me are deeds of trust. Because I have learned throughout this journey to trust myself, to trust my spirit team, to trust my guides. You know what I mean? And that for me is the most powerful deed of trust that exists, right? And so I'm looking forward to bringing this to you all, because you all know, and if you don't, now you know. So since 2013, I have been a practicing attorney, and I still am a practicing attorney in addition to all these other, passions and things that I do. There are further expressions of the I am that I am, right? And so all of these things that I've learned along the way, particularly from being an attorney, but also experiencing the legal field on the other side, right? And so all of that wisdom that I gained through those experiences that I had, I'm sharing them with you all. And I'm sharing them with you all from a holistic perspective. Because not only will you be able to see you'll be able to see holistically, let me say it that way, right? Because there's so much more that goes on than people are aware of, because as we know, when you communicate, we are so used to communicating by language. And some have learned the art of language, and it's called language arts, right? And so you're able to create worlds using your words. Think about it. Think music, right? Poetry. When certain people speak, right? Their words become visual images in your mind. They imprint on your subconscious awareness. And this is what I'm saying for you, my love, my life path number 7s, right? Because you have the ability to create worlds, you have to make sure that you govern your mental. Change your fucking shampoo, girl, or sir, whomever. Change your shampoo. Be mindful of what you're putting on your scalp. Be mindful of what you're absorbing, right, onto your body. Because you need to make sure that you are in the purest space possible so that you can create from a point of clarity, right? And that you are creating, from the healed space, as opposed to, let me say it this way, that you are creating from your healed space, right? Because sometimes what happens is that we create from our pain and we create from our trauma. And that's okay too, because there is a place for that. But what I'm saying is, it's okay to create in wholeness. Actually, that's what we do. But it looks different when you are creating from your healed space, right? Create from every space. But what I am saying is, y'all get what I'm saying. So yeah, so make sure I'm gonna post, I'm gonna try to, because I'm trying to do these things until the publishing folks come in and do their part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload a sample of the book onto my website, thetishahillman.com, where I go by the Relationship Oracle. And so this book is, like I said, it's a culmination of my experiences that have shaped my relationship, first to myself, because that's where every relationship begins, first with yourself and with the divine I am, and then your relationship with others. So I hope that you guys go to the website. Actually, I know you will, because I know that you're going to enjoy it. It is truth in motion. Y'all hear me? It is truth in motion. So what I was experiencing at that time, and the legal documents that were filed and all, those are a part of the book, because it's a part of the book. It's a part of the story, right? That happened. And so, I'm giving that to you all so that you can actually see how this all works, how this plays. You know what I mean? And the whole goal of the book is to help you in order to reclaim, don't be scratching on my floor. We're going to go in a minute. To help you to reclaim your energetic sovereignty, to reorganize, restructure your economic blueprint and your economic portfolio from a spiritual perspective, and watch as that translates into the physical realm. So welcome to October, y'all. It's going to be powerful. Listen, I don't know what the letter E has been coming up for me a lot. For when I think about, anytime I think about October, the letter E comes up. So I hope that y'all have an exuberant, excellent October. Any other E adjectives that you can think of that make you feel, in alignment with this energy and with the energy that you are trying to create? Listen, y'all, let's get in harmony and let's co-create together, because we are powerful together. So until next time, y'all, love yourself well. Visit the websites, www.consciouscreations.live, www.thetishahillman.com. And you can also check out my first I will be adding to the podcast, y'all, my first and only podcast episode so far, which is called Hips and Gnosis, and that's available at hipsandgnosis.com. Okay? All right. Love y'all.